Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. Natalya, I've got a total diva in the house right now.
Yes, you do.
But you're not a diva because you demand stuff. You're a diva because you're a diva in the WWE. How cool.
I'm so proud to be a superstar in the WWE, and every now and then my diva-like tendencies come out. But that's just part of being a girl. But yeah, it's really cool being a superstar in the WWE and being on our hit show on E, Total Divas. We're just coming off of this WrestleMania weekend from last week. What a whirlwind! But it's very very cool. Now, after WrestleMania, we're it's like we're restarting the whole year again. So this is like our New Year's.
I grew up watching your father.
Oh, really?
How cool is that when people can say, Jim the Anvil Neidhart was in my childhood home on television, and now I get to sit with his daughter. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's so cool. I am so close to my dad, and it's funny because we love watching the WWE Network because my dad can watch all of his old matches back, and I'm sometimes watching my dad going like, my dad's Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
He
Like
was a stud.
he was very 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 talented. So we can relive all those great moments on the WWE Network, and I hate to say this, but like when I watch my dad in his old matches back, I'm like, I'm so much like my dad. Thankfully, I don't have a goatee.
When's the moment you decide, hey, I'm going to do this thing called professional wrestling?
Being in the WWE, it's just there. I look back and I'm like, I can't imagine my life without it. It's such a big part of who I am. It's part of what makes me tick. And my family has been around WWE for as long as I can possibly remember. It spans all the way back from my grandfather, who is a WWE Hall of Famer. And it's just, once I started training, learning how to compete in the ring and just kind of honing my craft down in the dungeon where my family, trained some of the greatest superstars in WWE history, it was like I was hooked. It was so much fun. It was such a positive and creative outlet for me because it's like getting to do what I do in the ring. It's not just my passion, but it's the perfect blend of sports and theatrics. And, I'm very theatrical, as you know, on Total Divas.
Is it crazy to be part of the WWE is big enough, but then to have a hit show on E where you get to showcase your life, you get to work with some of your classmates? How's that been?
It's so different than what we do in the ring, but at the same time, I love being on that show because people relate to us, and it's been fun to be on Total Divas because I like people seeing all the different dynamics, in the ring, out of the ring, at home. Sometimes people, they watch us on TV and they think like our lives are so glamorous. Granted, we do have pretty glamorous lives, but there's just so much that goes into what we do, and we do so many different community outreach programs. And, while competing in the ring is unbelievable, surreal, groundbreaking, it's awesome. There's just nothing like going to the Pittsburgh Children's Hospital and meeting kids that are fighting for their lives, and you walk in and you change their whole day. And those are the most rewarding parts of our work in WWE because it's about making people feel a certain way, and it really puts your life into a different perspective. And WWE has our Connor's Cure program, which helps children with cancer and just doing stuff like that, and being able to share that on Total Divas and being able to show that to the world that we do so much more than just drop kicks and headlocks.
When you see the popularity, it's one thing when we look at the men's wrestling end. Obviously, that has been popular forever, but to see what has happened on the women's side
Right.
is incredible, isn't it?
Well, us girls are just taking.
You guys are taking over. Forget the men. It's all about the divas.
It's all
now.
about the girls. It's so cool because in the last couple of years, you've just seen this huge surge of growth in our women's division. And now we have two women's divisions. We have our division on Raw, and then our division on SmackDown Live, which is where I'm at. And it's fun because you get even more of a focus on the girls, and we have two championships. So it's great because in the last 6 months alone, you've seen women headline a pay-per-view and women main eventing Raw and main eventing SmackDown and having these really epic, very grand matches and just being front and center and doing incredible ratings for WWE and like top of our game with merchandise sales. And it's really awesome because we're just getting these opportunities to shine. And we wouldn't, have been able to do that without obviously the support from the WWE universe saying, we want to see more girls. So it's really been awesome to be a part of that surge. And I mean, this year at WrestleMania, we had 3 matches with women involved. So to say that the women are taking over in the WWE, I think you're only just seeing tip of the iceberg. It's going to get better and better and better. Speaking
of WrestleMania, there was another happening that took over the news. How cool was it to see John and Nikki get engaged?
It was so cool. And I've been very good friends with Nikki since we debuted in WWE. We started, Nikki and Brie and I started in WWE the same week we got hired. So when I met them, I was like this tomboy, knew nothing about hair and makeup or clothes. They taught me everything I know about that. And then in return, I taught them everything I know about, competing in the ring. So it was a nice little exchange. We've been very, very close friends ever since. I don't think we've ever had one major blow up. Besides what we do in the ring. But
I was going to say, I can't even imagine what a major blow-up would be.
Yeah. I mean,
a pile driver.
Actually, let me take this back, Nikki. I will never forget what you did to me in that Falls Count Anywhere match. No, we had, Nikki and I actually, we just had finished an epic feud on SmackDown. So we've had some blow-ups on TV. But, what we do in WWE is entertainment, and they're such close friends of mine. So when I saw John Cena propose to Nikki Bella in the ring at WrestleMania, it was a first ever. And we see John Cena and he's such a huge star and he's, he appears to be larger than life, but in those moments when you see him proposing to Nikki,
he's a teddy bear.
He's a teddy bear and he's just like the rest of us. Like I could sense all day because none of us knew it was going to happen, but because I was very suspicious as a friend. I was like, I just kept on like keeping my eyes open, like, what's going on? But I could sense that John seemed a little nervous. And John's never, you never see John sweat. And it was so touching because it shows that real side that John cares so much about Nikki. And he really just, he sees her as the love of his life. And this was like such a special moment. So if John Cena can get nervous, it's okay if we all get nervous.
How hard is it to stay in shape? I mean, I can't even imagine because you guys are on tour all year long. How are you able to stay in elite athlete shape and continue to do this?
Well, I'm very grateful that I get to body slam women for my job. Because that
should be the name of your book one day. I'm grateful I get to body slam women for my job.
It feels good. Besides what we do in the ring, we're moving, we're active, we're literally lifting each other up all the time. It's important for my job and for myself, just my own personal, goals. I really love working out. It's a big part of who I am, and I've been working out since I was, in my early teens. And my father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, as you know him, he's always been about being fit. And my dad played in the NFL. He was in WWE for several decades. And then my dad was also an Olympic shot putter when he was in high school.
That's awesome.
So my dad, he's just always been an athlete, and he's always kind of like instilled that athlete in all of us. And I have 2 sisters, and we just find the balance because when you look good, you feel good. And there's really that strong mind-body connection. So, but I do like to treat myself every now and then. I discussed that the other day with Charlotte Flair. She's like, Natty, after WrestleMania, I ate a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And I looked at her and I said, so did I.
When you come up from a royal family of wrestling the way you do. I mean, Bret the Hitman Hart, your father, Jim. I mean, it's incredible. This family essentially built the WWE on so many levels. Is there pressure to be successful?
I mean, I feel like the most pressure I have is what I put on myself. And I think pressure is good. I think pressure keeps people on their toes. I mean, I still get, to this day, I get stage fright, crazy stage fright before I perform. I mean, and I'm like,
that's surprising.
I was saying to my husband, I'm like, I think I like it though, because it keeps you on your toes.
It means you're alive and you're still enjoying it,
and you're passionate about it. And it's funny because Ric Flair said the same thing. He said, if you don't get stage fright, if you don't get nervous before you go out there, like being nervous and having those butterflies, it just means you still love it so much. And so, like, the pressure, I feel like, as long as you use it to channel yourself in the best possible way, it's really good. And I love representing the Hart family in the WWE and carrying on my family's legacy. And, we're so lucky to have the platform of WWE to be able to continue to grow, not just as performers, but as people, and using the platform to do good things in the world. And I get to do that in WWE, like I said, visiting different children's hospitals, and we work with Make-A-Wish and Special Olympics, and we've got a lot of different community outreach programs, like our anti-bullying initiatives and reading challenges. And it's cool because you just realize that I'm good at lots of other things besides what I do in the ring, and to be able to touch people's lives is like the best.
What are we going to see in the new season of Total Divas?
You're gonna see me as
Causing trouble.
well. My goal for 2017, I want to be the SmackDown Live Women's Champion, and I'm gonna make that happen. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna do it. But this season of Total Divas it's really fun because we have a lot of new cast members. We've got 3 new girls, blondes, and I mean, come on.
How dare they?
How dare they? How dare they be blonde? We've got, the return of Naomi. We've got Maurice, who is married to The Miz. We've got Renee Young, who is with Dean Ambrose. And then you've got Lana, who is with Rusev, married to Rusev. And Lana, love her to death, but she is definitely all of that in a bag of chips, a bag of spicy Dorito chips. Very high maintenance. We've had some conflicts on Total Divas. We're working through those, but let's just put it this way. When Lana came to my house, the last visit we had, she threw a shot put through the windshield of my car. It turned into her being on my grass crying and the neighbors not talking to me. So you'll have to tune into Total Divas to see what else happened, but mayhem. Amazing, fun times, but mayhem.
Why do all the wrestlers date each other? It's like a fraternity and sorority. What is going on there?
Well, we are such a big family. I'm telling you, it's just, we're family. And when you travel with each other, sometimes upwards of 300 days a year, you spend a lot of time together, and we understand what each other do, what the roles are, and it's nice to be able to talk to my husband about the good things and the bad things of my day, or this person's driving me crazy, or oh, I made a mistake in my match, or I'm so excited because we're at Madison Square Garden. And when your significant other shares your passion, it's really cool. And I think it's kind of what draws, not everybody can handle dating or being married to a WWE superstar. So sometimes you have to find another one that can be your match. So
I've always wanted to know, how choreographed are the matches? How much practice time do you get to actually make sure? Because these are intense routines you're going through. I mean, these are like 20-minute, 15-minute routines. I'm like, how are they able to just get it right without missing a step?
Well, the most dangerous place in the WWE is the women's locker room. I'll tell you, that's where Don't worry about Brock Lesnar. I mean, he's a teddy bear compared to the fur flying with the girls. I mean, we're so lucky because we have the Performance Center in Orlando, and that's where, obviously we do NXT, but we're lucky that we have such incredible coaches and trainers that work with us, really helping us perfect and hone our craft. And it's very, very much a sport in the WWE, but it's also very, very much entertainment. So our goal is to really put smiles on people's faces, but at the same time go in there and kick butt. And I mean, you have to think on your feet. Anything can happen on live television. Trust me, I've been a part of pretty much every single solitary thing you can go through on TV, from tables matches to, I mean, anything you can imagine. And you really have to be good and skilled at your job and think on your feet and hope that your competitor doesn't tap out to the sharpshooter.
Did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams, having grown up on the WWF, I mean, it was big back then, but did you ever imagine it would become what the WWE has become now, the enormity of it globally?
It just keeps growing, and that's the beauty of the WWE, is that we always top ourselves. So last year's WrestleMania, nobody thought like we were going to break those records. This year, we shattered those records, and I mean, not just in the quality of the show, but I mean, just in social media alone, like our company just keeps growing and growing and growing, and it shows you too that we're we're really growing in the hearts of our audience. And, it's not just guys that watch our show, but now women. So many moms and women, as we know, make a lot of the decisions in the household. They're bringing their kids to watch, WWE Live and WrestleMania and Raw and SmackDown. And a lot of these women fell in love with WWE just by tuning into Total Divas on the E network. And so it's cool that we're getting so many more, new and unique viewers and continuing to grow and expand. And I mean, we're in over 175 countries.
It's mind-boggling.
I can land in Japan, get off the plane, and there's people there that are like, Natty. And I'm like, this is my life. And of course, I have to take time to hug everybody and show the love right back. But our fans are the most passionate fans in the world. And when you get to experience that kind of like, love from them, it's just so cool to see it growing and see this huge surge in the world with WWE. And it's a global juggernaut. And I'm excited and proud to be a part of it.
Congratulations on everything. You are freaking awesome. I got to tell
you.
you. Everybody make sure to check out Natalya on E's Total Divas and on SmackDown Live, kicking some butt.